I'm so excited to be part of BRDG. I joined the board a few months ago, and when Cecilia asked me to do a presentation, I thought about the topic, and what I'm going to do today is tell you a little about myself, who I am, where I come from, like what my learnings are, and also like a framework that I follow for success. So again, it's just a point of view that I feel has worked for me, and I would hope that it will be useful for you. So with that said, this is me. This headshot was taken a little while back, but I still use it, so it looks young, so I think I feel good. So a little bit about myself. So I've been in the industry for a while. I've been both in large companies and startups. Some of the leadership positions, there's a company called Sleep Number. I was CTO there, responsible to grow the product and the team to multi-billion dollars. Have been at multiple startups. So what is a startup? Startup is just what you guys were doing. If you guys get together, and instead of it being a project, you come up with an idea and you build a product, you build a company, and you make it a successful business. And then you either go IPO, which is called going to the public market that you hear, or you get acquired by someone. So that's the journey of a startup. So all of you, like if you pursue your dreams, that might be another path for it. So apart from that, I'm also active investor. So when I see a great company or idea that is worth investing, I do invest in that at different phases. And also I've written multiple books, multiple patents, and multiple journals. So that's kind of like my bio. If you have more information, you can see my first name, last name.co. But I think the more important point is that this is where I am, but the point is where I started from, and that might relate to all of you. So my background is that initially when I was growing up, it was, we went through a very difficult financial hardship, and I was not born here. I was born in a country called Pakistan. And it required a lot of discipline in life, a lot of aiming high to reach where I am. So if you look at my initial journey, the only guidance I had was the power of education. So I knew and the power of hard work. So I knew these two things, if you keep doing it with full heart, you will get to the next step. So that's the one that's the kind of the core of my journey, and that applies not just in when you are early, but every phase of your life. And that some of the framework that I will share will give you that simple model that I have used all my life. So before that, I would like to share some leadership philosophies, and you'll say, why is he talking about leadership? Each of you, when you're working together as a team, you were working as a team, and eventually leaders evolve. So it's like, when you're in a company, the CEO is the leader, then you have a different department, the department head becomes the leader. So leader is not a manager. Leader is the one that leads you towards the goal and makes you successful. And what are the traits that you need to have? And these traits are something that you need to build right now, so that as you go through your career path and become very successful leaders, you should be able to exercise those traits. So the first one is communication. So it's very important, whether you're a team member or a leader, it's very important to be able to communicate, you'll be able to connect with people, and you'll be able to set a vision. So when, like the first company, when I mentioned I was in startup, we were 3 guys in a room with no windows, and we got together, and we had a great dream and a vision. And we said, this is where we want to be this is our end goal. So you have to dream high and set a vision, and that's typically for organizations, the leader does that. If you're a leader, you have to motivate people, you have to engage them, and you have to set that vision. The second part, which is a lot of people get a C or D grades in that, is empathy. So we are humans, so we are not robots, we are not like AI bots, we are humans. So humans have feelings, humans have emotions. So what you need to do is you have to be able to understand, if you're a leader, I'm talking about the leader's vantage point, you have to understand the people's feelings, you have to understand what motivate someone, and what's an area that you need to help somebody if they are struggling. And a leader is one which has empathy towards his team, towards his members, and that's a characteristic that will always help you. So it's not something that you have to be a leader to exercise. I'm just sharing you from my viewpoint. But as you hopefully get successful, you should be able to use that. The third one is collaboration, which you guys exercise in the teams. You were living in different, you're coming from different schools, you were working on a common mission, which was this project. And the idea was collaboration. So everyone had to chime in and put in what they or he or she is expected to be contributing to. So that part is very important because this is where the teams are formed. And team means 1 + 1 makes 11. So what it means is that when smart people get together, they can amplify what they can contribute or build if they are a solid collaborative team. So collaboration means that you contribute your part, you help if you have team member needs help, you chime in, and as a team you win. So like, take an example of a boat. You are rowing in a boat in an ocean, right? You're rowing your part, and say your team members are not rowing. Will that, or if there is like the boat starts sinking, like you will have to all work together to plug that hole, because if the boat goes down, everyone goes down, right? So that should be a team mindset, that we are all in this together. If we are successful, we are successful together. If we fail together. The fourth part is, again, the reason is we are humans. We are not AI bots or robots. So there are conflicts. That's a fact of life. And a lot of people are also get I'll say C or D in that. Everything is good, then everyone is happy. But the conflicts arise. The source of conflict can be anything. Can be conflicted goals, can be personalities, can be anything. I'm not talking about the root cause of conflict, but you should be able to handle conflict. So when you see a conflict, you should be able to handle the conflict so that the team stay cohesive and together. So that's very important, because a lot of leaders they close their eyes when there is conflict or there is challenges, right? And that's where I think, and it will be a fallacy if I say that you do anything in life and it will be all smooth sailing. It's not like that. It's like a curve. You go down, you have really bad periods, and then you have really successful periods, and then you have down periods. It's like sinusoidal wave. So what you need to do is, you should be, as a leader, be able to handle conflicts and be able to maintain the productivity, retention, engagement of your team if you are a leader. And if you are a team member, the same thing applies, that you play your part to make sure you guys stay as a cohesive team. The final, again, an area where a lot of people get C and D is decision making. And that's the hardest part, because when you are a leader, it becomes even harder, because you have to make decisions with incomplete information sometimes, right? So if it's not 1 + 1 = 2, it's a gray area. You have some facts, you don't have the full picture, you are forecasting the future, you don't know what the future would be, but your decisions that you're making right now will impact the future. So what you need to do is, you should be able to make those decisions. And a lot of leaders, to be a successful leader, you have to be able to make decisions. And some of the decisions are very hard decisions also. So they might have impact on emotionally very difficult, they can be, so you have to be able to make decisions, but the guideline for that is always make decisions on data, facts, and best judgment possible. You should not, emotions and all those other feelings which are human traits, I think those should not be part of the decision making process. So because that biases our decisions. So decisions should be based on data, but if you realize that all the data points for decision A, and it's a hard decision, it might upset somebody, it might upset something, that I think in the bigger picture might be a strong leader will make that decision, because that for the greater good, that's better for the company, team, whatever dimension you are looking at. So these are the kind of leadership philosophies that I've used all my life, and these are things that I will highly encourage that you pick one or two and see where you stand, and continue to improve, because we are all constantly learning and improving. So it's not that everyone has a PhD in all these things. When I started, my communication was not there. I was a very shy person. I can't stand in front of two people. I can't talk, because I was very technical, nerdy, just coding, and I was like, so I realized that to be a leader, you have to have communication skills. So I built it, I worked on it year over year over year. So everything can be improved and by hard work. Now, next I'll come to the framework. So this is the framework that I've used, and there are hundreds of frameworks. So, you might agree with it or disagree with it, but I think this is something that I like frameworks to be simple, because if it's too complicated, then it becomes hard to follow. And the same framework, I have my 11-year-old, 7-year-old. They were asking me how I can be successful in this grade. Same framework I explained to them. It's very easy to understand. But also, that's something that the number 5 is very easy, because you have 5 fingers. You can remember those things. So this framework is things that we need to do, and again, it's all of them are elements are important to be successful. There's no guarantee of success. I mean, there's nothing guaranteed in life, but these are the things that make it plausible to be successful. Drive, discipline, hard work, constant learning, and organization. I'll quickly touch upon each of them, and then hopefully you'll get the slides and you can do it, right? So drive to me is the biggest thing. The drive is that urge in you that I want to do something, or I want to be there. And that hunger or drive, whatever you call it, is the one that keeps you going. So there can be people who work really hard, but they don't have a drive, right? Drive means that they just do what they're told, and they're to whatever the definition of success is, they are successful. But the people that you see, they think of impossible things, they put that drive in there, and then they go towards it. So the drive is the first thing, that I want to get to a college. I want to start this company, or join this this company. I want to get to the next level of leadership. Every phase of your life, you need to have that. The second one is discipline. Just drive is not sufficient. You can say, I want to become the CEO of a company and then sit and drink coffee all day. It will not going to happen. So you need to have discipline to make sure that what needs to be done. The discipline is the hardest thing. These are small things, but have to be done every day. So something that you do every day. It's not like just like eating. You eat a little bit every day. You're not like you eat 5 pizzas one day and then say next 10 days I'm not going to eat anything. So everything has to be done in a very methodical way, in a very disciplined fashion. And discipline is where people are very challenged sometimes. Discipline can be as simple as there's a talk by head of U.S. Navy Academy, and they said that they see that the people who get out of the bed, do they make their bed in the morning? So just that simple act of organization and discipline, that every day, that shows that you are taking things and life seriously. Third is hard work. So that's a given. I mean, anything you do, you have to work hard, you have to slog, but you'll see the difference that all these elements are, somebody can be working hard, but he doesn't want to go up, or that drive is not there. So then you can look back and say, this person doesn't become very successful. Whatever the definition of successful is, the success rate didn't go up in career. He was working hard, but he didn't have the drive or the discipline. There must be something missing. So that's why you have to analyze every person. The fourth element is very important, constant learning. And this is again something that people don't take that seriously. They think I know everything. I have all the knowledge in the world. But constant learning is something that you guys need to really empower. You are right now in that young age, you're learning, but a lot of people, as you go later in life, you think, I know everything, I don't need to. But people who are successful, they read books. They always learn. They don't think they know anything. They always are hungry to learn. And the final one is organization, which I touched upon, that you need to be organized in life. Time management, resource management, your life management, everything is an organization. So these are the elements, that are important. And there's a quote, Benjamin Franklin, that every minute spent organizing, an hour is earned. Because people who are disorganized, they think they are working hard, they are doing a lot of things, but they're not getting the results because they are not organized. So these are the 5 simple things that you need to try to look where you stand in each of them from 1 to 5 scale, and just keep pushing that next year I want to be at next level, and go towards it. So I think a little bit more about as you think about your future, define a vision, then plan for it. You will say that I want to get to, even if you're saying I want to get to San Diego, you plan that I'll leave around 10 o'clock, traffic, or I'll leave around LA traffic. So I will leave early in the morning at 6 a.m. and I'll drive this, and then I meet this person, so that's your plan for the day, right? So you just like plan for the life, that where you want to be. Think of it for next 5 years, next 10 years, what your plan is. Then define a strategy, that how will you get there? So if you want to get to college, what will be your strategy? I should get a good SAT score. I should get 3.5 GPA. Whatever the building blocks are, define those kind of strategy, but then do the execution, which is all the hard work and everything I mentioned. That's the hard work slog that you do every hour, every day to get to your goals. So to summarize, so you are going through a journey of life, and where you are is the present. And the present is the only thing you control. So this is where you can make decisions, you can do actions, and present is the only thing that matters. A lot of people live in the past. So the past is a great source of learning and insights. So people who look at the past, whether it's their personal past or the history of mankind, like you can go back and look at the history of nations and all, lot of learnings there. So past should be used as a source of learning, and present is what you control. So all the hard work and things you are doing, that's under your control. And what's the future? Future is what you can influence. How you can influence? By the actions you do, the things you do right now, and learnings from the past. So I will highly recommend, like things you did wrong, for example, and if you don't learn from the past, you will repeat the same mistakes. So a lot of people live in the past and say that the past is an indicator of the future. Your present actions are an indicator of the future. Past is a source of learning. So if you think of it as a mountain climbing, if you're climbing, you must have gone through steep hills before, but there's no guarantee that what you see in the future would be same. But you knew that if you're going up, you go slow, you don't want to get tired. All the learnings that you had during it, you can apply as you go forward. So that should be the kind of course of life. Don't live in the past, but learn from the past, control your present, and make your future. Thank you.
We have time for 2 or 3 questions for Faisal, so if you want. All right, David, nice and loud, outside voice.
So when did you arrive at becoming a leader? You talked about how initially you were more timid in the beginning. So what process and journey did you take in your life?
That's a great question. Yeah. So initially, I just wanted to sit and do my work, and then I started having that drive that I want to, drive teams, drive organizations. Then I realized that what are my shortcomings. So there's that framework that I mentioned, like so communication was the first one, that I was shy. I don't like to talk in front of people. I don't want to, write things. And I realized this is an area. So I did an MBA. I worked on it, and you always, like humans have a comfort zone around you, right? So this is your safety zone or comfort zone, and people stay within that, right? Successful people push yourself outside that comfort zone. Things that either scare you or intimidate you, you have to push yourself. And the point is that a lot of people say this cannot be done. As I mentioned, present is what you control. So you cannot say that everything can be done if you put heart, mind, and all the elements I went over. But it was a little bit in the middle, like after college, after working for a few years, and that drive started coming in. Then I started realizing my shortcomings, or I won't say shortcoming, but attributes that need to be enhanced. So I realized that what areas I need to work on, yeah.
One more question.
What was your most memorable leadership moment, and why was it your most memorable?
Most memorable leadership moment. So the most memorable leadership moment was one of the companies that I was part of. We realized that we are going to no longer exist as a company because the thing we were doing was not working. So that required building a complete new product and new team. I realized how many people will be impacted, their jobs will be lost. And it was completely, I'd say, a miracle to put something together in 9 months, to build something and start selling and all that. And so that whole exercise obviously the teamwork, collaboration was part of it, but we survived that and the company got acquired and everyone was happy and successful. So as a leader, one other thing also as a leader, which I forgot to mention, you have to be like a sponge. So you will have a lot of stress, a lot of really, really difficult things coming your way, but you don't pass it down. What I mean is that if you are getting stressed, you have to be able to absorb it and then make it actionable and then and work with your team to work on those actions. So for me, like having success for the team and the project or the company I'm working on, I think that's the biggest satisfaction, you'll say.
All right.
Thank you.